Hola familia, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today I want to share with you guys my top 5 spring palettes that I have chosen for this year. Now I try to pick palettes that are still available that I may or may not have shared with you guys in the past. I have done this in the past and I don't want to try to be repetitive because I do rotate through, well, what the heck was that? I do rotate through my collection, so there are some palettes that I either missed out on that I haven't really tried or that I've fallen in love with and specifically like it during a certain season. So spring to me is all about pastels and flowers and the bright shades, but not super vibrant neon. They're a little bit more subdued. Some of them are a little bit brighter. The sun is shining. The weather is warming up. So these 5 palettes are 5 that I feel like give you that vibe and it's not too summery just yet. The best part about this video is I am collaborating with the beautiful Miss Sally Cho. Oh wait, she just got married, so I don't know what her new last name is. I know she was Sally Cho. I don't know what she is now. Obviously, I'll have everything down in the description box for you guys. Yes, she is recently married. I have collabed with her in the past, you guys. So I have spoken about her before. If you do not know who she is somebody who is like me. She does a lot of duping of videos, tries to talk you out of new makeup, tries new makeup, but tries to compare it to some that she has in her collection. She has a very curated collection. She doesn't have massive amounts of makeup like I do, at least eyeshadow palettes. And she did tell me she was doing 5, so I had to stick to 5 too because I could have done at least like 25 in this video. If you have not checked out Miss Sally, I will have everything linked down below. Go ahead and check her out. Tell her I sent you. You guys are going to enjoy her personality. She's fun and bubbly just like I am, and she literally cracks me up every time I watch her. She's just funny to watch. She's like me. She's not a perfectionist as far as her videos go, so she does let her flaws just go, her little mistakes. She just laughs at herself, and that's what I do. If I have lipstick on my teeth, oh well. If I forgot to fill in my brows, oh well. Forgot to put on mascara, yes, I have done all of these on camera and they're still up on my channel, so oh well. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the 5 palettes that I have for you guys, but first, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alejandra. I'm an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash from Japan. If that is something that interests you, subscribe, join us. And now without further ado, let's get on with the 5 palettes. Alright, so I'm going to get into the 5 palettes. I am not ranking these palettes. I'm just going to share with you guys the 5. Don't make me rank. I already rank enough of my children, and I don't want to keep ranking my children. So I'm just going to show you the 5 palettes here. They're all... they're not all indie brands, but at least the majority are indie brands because you guys know that's where I like to invest my money in because these are investments, obviously, for me at least. So I do buy a lot of indie brands. I've always done it for a while now, and I'm so happy that a lot more are getting into indie brands. So I'm sure some of you guys have heard of these palettes, so we're gonna get into it. All right, first and foremost, this palette, I don't think I've ever showcased this in a top spring palette. I think last year I did singles. So this is my Juvia's Place Nubian 3 Coral. This one is actually a really good one to transition from winter to spring because you still got the grays going on in here, but then you're getting all these corals with a little bit more brown and different tones and richness to them. I have done 2 looks with this palette, 2 looks, 1 palette, or 3 looks, 1 palette. I forget what I did, and I shocked myself at how beautiful these silvers and grays are with peach. Because I am one to say that the one major eyeshadow that I really don't like is grays. I just don't like any tone of gray, but this works. And I love it for this time of year. When I'm trying to get out of my deeper, darker gray shade, going into the brighters, this is perfect. So if you have this one, pull it out. And I'm sure you could dupe it as well because it's just silver and peaches with a little bit of brown. Next up is pulling at all of my pastel vibes. This is the No Bad Tokyo palette, right? This is the Tokyo palette. This was one of my first and one of my few pastels that I owned at the time. When I first reviewed this palette, not many people knew who Nomad was. I think that they were just relatively new. I've only heard like 1 or 2 YouTubers talk about them. And then I went ahead and bought this one at release and I fell in love. This is one of my favorite pastel palettes ever. I do not have many pastel palettes. I still don't own many, even though now there's a lot more available. But back in the day, I only had owned one or two, which was Kat Von D's Pastel Goth, and I believe Lorac had come out with one limited edition, and then I only had this one. I love this one because of the color story, the whole packaging of it. The bottom shade is what won me over. The bottom shades here are these topper, these beautiful shimmery toppers. They're not really glitter. They're like these micro glitters that you just top it on your eyes and it gives you a whole different dimension. I love the fact that they're all different shades and they go nicely with the pastels if you want to. The majority of this palette is matte, so these just give it another kick. I love this palette. And anyone that I've seen purchase this and review it has loved this palette as well. This is a great one to have. I hope they never discontinue this one because this is amazing. Love this one. Up next is one that is rather new to me, but I feel like this is a spring palette and the packaging screams for it too. This is the Give Me Glow Vivid Rose palette. This one gives you the purples and the pinks and a little bit of the mauves. Again, this is a perfect transition from the winter time into the springtime because you still could be subdued and subtle, but then you're getting these bright pinks all up in here with a little bit of purples. This, even the packaging just screams springtime. It is gorgeous. I could do something very feminine and very like delicate versus something super bright and bold in your face if I want to. Like this reminds me of petunias and those vibrant violets and the morning glories, like all these beautiful flowers. I love this palette. It's beautiful and the quality is amazing on this palette as well. So this is my third pick when it comes to spring palettes. Now the last two palettes that I want to share with you guys, I'm giving you a little bit of a stage. These are not going to scream spring to you guys, but hear me out so you guys can see why I picked these. The next one I picked for you is the Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels. Now you're looking at this one and you're like, what? But this does give you spring. Again, a perfect winter into spring because you're getting these deeper ones, but then look, you're getting this pastel purple, this green right here, this mauve tones over here, this lighter greenish champagne-y shade. But if you still are feeling like your weather is not really 100% spring like it is in mine where it just doesn't realize what it's doing, you still get these darker shades where you can fill in those gaps of those days. But I feel like this is a nice spring palette. You're getting these, like, you know what I mean? I could see spring in here. I could see spring more in this palette than I can winter. I feel like this is a spring palette, a true spring palette. You're getting those nice deeper shades over here, but then you're getting those bright shades that I love for the springtime. So this is definitely a spring palette in my eyes. Now last but not least, I couldn't leave out my neutral lovers. As you guys know, I have said this for many years. I am a neutral lover just as much as I am a colorful lover, and that goes for anything in my life. I love everything bright, but then I also love everything neutral. So that's really bad because that's why I have so many eyeshadow palettes. But this is one that I would say if you don't like a lot of color, but you still want to transition into the springtime, I feel like this is really good. Now, this is the old packaging. They have redone this packaging recently, so I don't know what it looks like now, but this is the Beach Cosmetics Hanging in Hawaii palette. This one, I feel like screams spring, doesn't it? You're still getting color, but it's subdued and you're getting your neutrals if you feel like you don't want to do any color. Here are your neutrals down here, but then you're getting these orange and this beautiful shade up in here and these orangey browns, this pink, a deeper brown that has like more of a purple to it, the lighter shades in here. So I feel like this is spring. This could be a spring into summer palette if you really wanted to. But I feel like if you don't want to do too much color, that's why I chose this one because I obviously own it. Obviously, I'm using it. So I feel like this is something that I would enjoy as well if I did not want to have a lot of color. This gives me enough color where I'm getting that thirst or that quench of my thirst for color, but I don't need it to be so bold and bright as what I have on my eyes. So I feel like this is a really good spring palette as well. So there you guys have it. These are my 5 picks for this year. I am trying new eyeshadow palettes as I always do. There's a lot more in my collection that I could share with you guys. guys. Off the top of my head, I can think of the Menagerie Cosmetics Pastel Pup palette. I have a lot of mini Juvia's Place palettes that I feel like are more spring-esque, but I wanted to bring it down to 5 because that's what Sally was doing and I did not want to go overboard, and I feel like I did give you guys a nice variety of spring palettes where you're not feeling like, if I were to share these with anyone that doesn't have any makeup, they could feel like they could do a different palette each day without feeling like it's repetitive, redundant, and they're overlapping in color story. So that's why I chose what I chose. You're not overlapping in color stories, you're getting enough of everything, and if you can mix and match some of these palettes together, you can get even more color combos. So that's how I think about it. Whenever I pick these kind of palette video things, I always think about everyone and how I would incorporate it if I didn't have any makeup. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will link these palettes down in the description box because I am pretty sure all these are still available, and I made sure of that before I chose any of these palettes. Thank you so much to my friend Sally here for collaborating with me, for asking me to join her in this video. I had so much fun with it. I cannot wait till it's full-blown spring, minus the seasonal allergies that I will be getting, but I will live with it because I'm tired of winter, I'm tired of the cold, I am tired of snow. So thank you again so much for watching. I'll put my videos over here for your enjoyment. Until then, adios!